Turning now to mental illness and questions surrounding how well equipped police departments across the country are to handle emergencies involving those who suffer from mental disorders. Some cities, including New York City, are now looking into a pilot program that instead of police officers sends teams of EMTs and social workers to mental health emergencies. ABC's Rena Roy with more.
Gearing up to hit the streets of New York, this is a crisis response team unlike any other in the city.
You see it in the moment. You say, wow, this is different, you know, and you feel it.
911 dispatchers sending EMTs and social workers instead of police officers to handle nonviolent mental health emergencies, hoping that will result in a peaceful outcome.
This is a way of bringing care into the crisis.
It's all part of a pilot program called Be Heard, the city's behavioral health emergency assistance response division that began in 2021.
This is a wellness check. We're not here to drag you away. When people see police, they have a perception of them. Then when we come, they see EMS, fire department, they say, now that window's open and we have a chance to go through it.
It's something the city really needed, and it's something that never existed before. The options were pretty limited. You know, NYPD would show up and the patient would most often end up in the emergency department.
And sometimes in handcuffs, shot or killed. People with untreated mental illness are 16 times more likely to be killed by law enforcement. In Texas, Patrick Warren Jr. says he called 911 asking for a mental health checkup of his father. Then his dad was shot and killed by police right in front of him. And in California, the family of Angelo Quinto says he was depressed and having a mental health episode and died days after an officer allegedly put a knee on his neck, which police deny. Deaths involving law enforcement like these sparking calls for reform across the country. Cities like Portland, Oregon, and Denver, Colorado, just two of many that now have de-escalation programs in place. Many say this is a step in the right direction, but others are calling for more progress. Mental health advocate Jordan Rosenthal wants to see Be Heard teams include so-called peers, those with their own mental health diagnosis or experience with a mental health crisis.
They need to be there because they know what it's like to be the person in having a crisis.
And with only 22% of mental health 911 calls currently being routed to Be Heard, Rosenthal says it's not enough.
We have an oversaturation of calls that are being directed to police.
But Jason Hansman, Deputy Director of Mental Health Initiatives, says progress doesn't happen overnight.
About a year and a half ago, we were still sending cops and EMTs to every mental health call in the city. We've changed that where, we're responding to about a quarter of the calls, and this is something that's going to take time.
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.